If you are seeing this video, then it's probably because something went horrendously wrong in recovering this. You probably know why I'm doing this, but just to reiterate, this has probably happened in the past because I'm actually showing you a landing attempt that may or may not go too well because, as it turns out, we do not have batteries on this probe here. And that is going to be a bit of an issue for us. And you can see here we are coming in above K2. We actually had a lot of fuel here. It was close to 1200 meters per second delta V. So it was a very efficient launch. Probably more efficient than I will do in the future, which, by the way, is your past. But what we're basically going to try to do here is, given that we do have maybe not an excess of fuel, but a fair amount of it, and we are coming down over K2 here, we're going to try and recover the whole thing, because this guy can land, even though the probe itself was not designed to land. I might design for that in the future, although I really don't see the point. I mean, this is something that we may get limited utility out of, or we may be able to relocate it somewhere. You can see we're beginning to heat up. I was a little bit worried that this guy here isn't strutted down. We seem to be coming in just fine. If we bring this up, we have not yet encountered any accidents, which I tend to regard as a good thing. And it looks like we will end up right over KSC, so I may just keep this one around. Just because of the fact that this is such a good landing. What would be ideal, of course, is for us to land right, maybe not right next to the launch pad. That may be asking for a lot. But maybe to land as close as we can get. And we are beginning to slow down. Re-entry heat should not be that high. Let me turn on FAR real quick and get an idea of what Q is like. Q is probably going to go to 1300 or so. We'll see. We are probably getting a lot of drag here. I need to find those circumstances under which the antenna breaks, because we're still having issues with that. Not now, but soon we will go ahead and land. That means that we're going to lose a bunch. We still haven't hit max Q yet. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm kind of worried that this stuff here will heat up a little bit too much. So even our parachutes are getting dangerously close, although that is changing quite dramatically, and we have no connection. That probably means that we snapped our antenna. Although we should still have that other one. Well, we're committed now. Maybe not for the best. This is going to be a pretty hard landing, I figure. Some things will break, and we may in fact lose some of the landing stack. which would be rather unfortunate. We are still experiencing high G's here. I mean, the real question is, can we hide this antenna in such a way? I mean, I think we will get close. So we are rapidly losing velocity. Max Q is about 15,000 pascals. And so it's quite a lot. I think that roughly corresponds, and don't quote me on this, but that roughly corresponds to something like between 10 and 15 atmospheres. But I think we will be okay. We are rapidly descending. We are landing almost on top of KSC itself. So maybe we will get to the ocean. Curious though that our, well, we have no way of looking at this, do we? I personally believe we are going to land in the ocean, as we are not slowing down fast enough. Have we managed to keep our connection? It would have been okay, and to be honest, as long as we're within 3 kilometers of KSC, we can rectify this situation. I mean, that's going to be the big deal there. So we're landing probably on the shore. Might be close by. The question is going to be, are we within that 3-kilometer range? Very, very heavy re-entry, to be sure. And I personally think we're headed towards the ocean. But such as it is, you know, it's time for us to begin throttling up time warp. Just a little bit. Yeah, we are just on the shore, it looks like. It looks like I was incorrect about my hypothesis here. And we will, in fact, be landing on the shoreline. Okay, what did we just lose? So we did lose something. As for what, I'm not entirely sure. But we're at 6.8, which is a good... It's good to be falling at. I have no idea what just broke. And so let's get on down into the ocean here. Might post this as a separate video if it ends up taking too much longer. But it appears we're ready. And that is lucky. Let's see how much we recovered. Because I am kind of interested to see how close we are. 97.9%, that's not bad. Anyway, I will see you in my future, which is your past.